What up, B Squad? It is your boy JB, and we are here today with the review for Love and Marriage Detroit, you guys, season 1, episode 4. The episode's titled Skating on Thin Ice, you guys. What is going on with this weather? Like, for real, for real. I just really want to go out, and I don't want to get wet. Before we go ahead, I didn't even get to the intro, you guys, before I start talking about the weather. Um, yeah, I said the title of the episode. Yeah. So before we get into this review, you guys, if you guys are watching this video or any other on the channel and aren't subscribed yet, then I need you guys to do me a solid favor and stop taking me out on this date and having me pay for it at the end of it. You guys know the routine. You can do me that favor by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, turning your post notifications on, and sharing the video. And with that out of the way, you guys, without further ado, let's go ahead and discuss Love and Marriage Detroit, shall we? All right, guys. So this episode, it literally picked up where the last one left off. You guys remember last week's episode? Anthony was, crying. I didn't care last week's episode. I don't care in this week's episode. You guys know I don't see it for Anthony, and that's all I got to say. Couldn't care less about him crying. So we see them, and they went to church. So Latoya's mom and dad, they both head the church that they go to. They go to church every Sunday. It's a tradition in their family, in their household. So cool with that. And, Latoya's talking to Anthony about having a conversation with her dad about his feelings and how he, the little meltdown that he had on the boat. Let me see. I don't want to come off insensitive. Well, I don't want to come off insensitive, but I just want to say what Anthony was crying about, it made no sense, right? I get it. You wanted to go out to Atlanta. You wanted to do something to better yourself and your family, and that's fine and dandy, right? But here's the biggest issue. It was a pandemic, so everything was closed during the pandemic. Then on top of that, your wife is a doctor working in a hospital. You guys have young kids. So during the pandemic, I know damn well your kids were at home from school. They were working, they were doing school from remotely. So you didn't have time for your kids. It's just like your family was home during the pandemic. And even if you want to say, oh, well, it was after everything opened, everything did open, but there were still protocols that you had to follow. So, and even when things started to open up, that was about the summertime, right? It was late spring, early summer. It was because it was getting toward the summertime, because they thought that the numbers would kind of drop during the summer because it would be getting hotter. I do remember that. But when people were getting together for Memorial Day and all the holidays, the cases were spiking because people were getting lax, right? So you should have been with your family. Like, let's just keep it real. Let's just be 100. You should have kept an eye on you should have been home with your family. And again, I'm not knocking you for wanting to do something that betters yourself and your family, but you also need to discuss this with your family and figure out what's the best alternative for your family. So he did talk to his father-in-law, and his father-in-law said the same thing. You needed to be here with your kids because your kids were going through certain things at school, and you should be here. Period, point blank. I don't care about it. You guys, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't like Anthony, so I just can't give him any leeway. And that's all it is. Like, I ain't got much else to say about it. But if you guys have different opinions, I love to hear them. Leave them in the comments below. And we're going to pause here and move on. So next up, we got Russell. So we find out that Chelsea is friends with both Christina and with Colby, right? But, she's known Colby for 10 years, right? So she and Russell are planning a surprise birthday party for Colby's 30th birthday. And, Chelsea came by. He told her not to tell Colby anything. So she went upstairs to see Colby. And so Colby, now here's the thing, you guys. I am thoroughly confused when it comes to this situation with Colby and Christina. So I guess Colby is saying that she wanted to do a partnership or do something with a company. I forgot the name of the company, right? But I guess at the same time, Christina has also reached out to this person to want to collaborate with them So I guess Kobe suggested maybe she and Christina come in on the collaboration together because they've always talked about collaborating with each other. So this she feels like this would be a perfect opportunity. She's reached out to Christina. She said Christina told her she was confused about something, and so she texts her back again, and Christina hasn't responded to her. And I was like, I still don't know what the hell that we're talking about. I still, even looking at my notes and even remembering what I just watched on the episode, I'm as confused as ever. I feel like Christina. Like I feel like Christina. Like, girl, what? Huh? Okay. It was so confusing. So we see Russell. So Russell is going to go. You guys remember, Russell wants to own a gym, and he wants to own a gym. So he went to go look at a gym. He did a walkthrough with the gym, and so the guy was basically telling him, like, when it comes down to the gym, you probably won't see a big profit because he didn't see one for at least I think he said 2 or 3 years after opening the gym. I was like, that sounds about right. You can't unless, especially when you're a smaller gym, you have to compete with these big chains like um, Fitness Connection. You got a Planet Fitness. You got LA Fitness. You got so many different people that you got to compete with. So I don't think that when it comes down to this, I'm thinking to myself, like, how much thought did Russell really put into this? But hey, it is what it is. I mean, if he wants to do that, then that's the issue that I have when it comes to this with Russell is just like, I get you want to make these decisions, but for me with these men on this show, it feel like they don't take their wives' thoughts and feelings into consideration at all. Like they say, "Oh, I'm gonna do this," and my wife just be damn. Like that's literally the vibe that I get from these men. So let's pause here and move forward. And you guys, I think we started to wrap up this episode because this episode really wasn't much, to be honest with you guys. So let's move forward. So Brandon and Christina. Oh God, you guys, I can't with Brandon and Christina. I really truly can't with them. Um, they have marriage mentors, so they're meeting with their marriage mentors, and this is the first time that Brandon has been back to the house since they got into it, and he got an attitude. I was like, why do you have the attitude? I still didn't understand why Brandon has the attitude. It was just mind blowing and confusing. I'm like, huh? The person who hasn't been home in days is mad at me. I wouldn't even listen to nothing that Brandon was saying because Brandon is a gaslighter. Let's just keep that a buck. Brandon is a true gaslighter, and Christina, like I've said before, she chose to stay with this man. She chose to stay in this marriage. Girl, you need to let go of the past and move forward because it ain't that big. I mean, if you were able to let it go, Christina can be quite annoying too. They're both annoying, and I guess with this, them talking to these people for their marriage mentors. For right now, these two are in a good space with each other. I don't see this marriage lasting. Like it just looks bad overall. Like if you just look at this marriage on paper and on this television show, why are y'all married to each other? Because parts when you look at Brandon at times, it doesn't look like Brandon likes Christina. It looked like he resents getting married to her. It just looks like he resents a lot of things when it comes to this marriage. And then with Christina, you look at Christina, she don't look happy. And I'm like, you're not happy because he has, had an emotional affair, which I also think might have been physical, but hey, that's my opinion. I don't know that for a fact. I'm just alleging that. But you chose to stay with him. Now, here's my thing when it comes to that. When people cheat on you emotionally, physically, any of that stuff, why do y'all, if you decide to stay with them, you have to be able to let that go and let the past be the past and not bring it up when you get mad or anything like that. And I don't think that Christina has done that. I wonder, has Christina gone to sought therapy for anything? Because it's just, it's a lot. It's a lot. And there are a lot. And I wouldn't want to be around them. So let's pause here and wrap up this episode, you guys. So the couples went skating. Everyone was there. Brandon and Christina came together. Latoya and Anthony were together. Kobe came by herself, and Russell's following behind. I was like, oh my God. Ugh. Like I said, these marriages, they are rocky. Like they're very rocky, very rocky. I really do want to work when it comes to casting for Carlos's shows. Where do you find these people at? Like, because you managed to find the worst of the worst. Like, if that's what marriage is, I don't want it because I just don't want a marriage like those. Those are not things to look at, and I don't want to emulate anybody's marriage, but that's definitely not something I'd be like, oh, I want to get married because I see they like a happy couple. No, these people look miserable. And like I said, when it comes down to the women and these men, the men make the decisions and the women just have to fall in line. And it's not the 1950s, so we got to get away from that. So Russell told Kobe he's about 85% sold on this gym. I was like, say, whoa, how do we get there? So you first signed up for divinity school and didn't have a conversation with your wife. Now you're about 85% sold on this gym that you just sprung on her. Oh, mm. Kobe, Kobe. I don't know what to tell you. I ain't got nothing to tell you. I have nothing to tell you. So then Anthony. So Anthony invites the guys to the men's movement. You guys, when Anthony talks, it's kind of like on Charlie Brown, wah 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 wah. When the adults talk, that's literally all I hear when Anthony talks. Nothing but air, because it just goes in one ear and out the other. Because I don't ever retain anything that man says. So Brandon talked about the showcase. I'm with Russell. I hope you tell your wife about your artists before we had the showcase, because I am done being in y'all's business. I think we all are done being in their business, right? So then we had the conversation with Christina and Kobe. Like I said earlier in the review, I was confused when Kobe was talking about it, and I'm even more confused now because they started to argue about it, and I was like, wait a minute, what are we arguing about here? Y'all are both influencers, so I'm just like, I have no idea what we're arguing about. It's not like y'all came up with something that is brand new and original. So what is this argument about? Then at one point, Brandon got involved with it and Russell got involved. I was like, again, why are we arguing? What are we arguing about? It's childish. It's stupid. I wanted it to end, and we're about to end this review because I don't understand. I don't understand anything in this episode. I understood nothing, especially when it came to Christina and Kobe. If you guys understood it, let me know down in the comment section below. You guys, please subscribe to the channel, turn on your post notifications, share the video, you guys, and until the next time, please stay safe out there. Take care of yourselves, wash your hands, be blessed, and I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.